Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Central Arkansas's premier news talk program.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas, Southern Missouri. It is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. Pause right there.
Okay, I won't say a word.
It's 2/22/22 on Tuesday. So at 2:22 this afternoon, there's going to be 2:22 on 2/22/22 on Tuesday.
Okay, say that 10 times real fast. I'll wait.
Everybody said, who cares?
I know, it's like, all right, here we go, okay. And this is why you're all excited this morning. Oh, yeah. Doesn't take much, ladies and gentlemen.
It doesn't take much to amuse me. And so the dates this week, if you put them down like today, be
we get it.
2/22, front or backwards.
We get it.
All the way through the month.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We get it.
I had to have something to fill with. I mean,
oh my
always
God.
looking for a filler, right?
You stopped the whole show for that.
Did you hear some of that thunder this morning?
I did.
Oh my goodness.
My dog made sure I was up to hear it. I was up. Yeah, we got some thunder.
Wow. Some of that lightning was pretty intense this morning.
It was.
What time did it roll through? 1 or 2 o'clock?
I should have went to retiredarkansas.com and looked at their
camera.
That would have been good.
Wow, watch it over Cotter. Woo. Wow.
It's way too early in the morning for me to think when that's going on.
You get up at 3:30.
I know. I'm not thinking at 3:30. I'm just going through the motions.
Oh, anyway, good morning. Hope your day's off to a great start. We got some weather to talk about here in a little while. Boy, I tell you what, we got some colorful maps, let me tell you. Anyway, first of all, we're enjoying Brewed Awakening Coffee. You can do the same thing with 3 locations to serve you the best coffee in town. Baxter Regional Medical Center's main entrance lobby. Follow the COVID guidelines there. Bomber Boulevard and 62 East Plaza. Both drive-thrus are ready to serve you right now at 7:02 in the morning. Of course, Bomber Boulevard get a little bit busy with faculty, staff, instructors, and students going to the schools, both the junior high and high school. And then you got 62 East Plaza area in front of Anytime Fitness. And, of course, they got mochas, lattes, frappuccinos, and then you can add pumpkin spice or French vanilla.
All your flavor.
Everything you can imagine.
All right, here's the good stuff.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, they have got cinnamon rolls that are this big.
How big?
They are massive.
How big?
They will fill a plate. They've got muffins, scones, apple and cherry turnovers. They got everything. By the way, they do carry coffee, but they've got all the good stuff for you.
They've got all the good stuff, I'll tell you. And, of course, the coffee is the best coffee in town. They get the freshest roasted coffee. I mean, got there and got behind Juan Valdez one day, unloading the mule. He's a little bit tired, he's watering them down.
You probably don't want to be on the backside. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Brewed Awakening Coffee, the best coffee in town. If you're not drinking Brewed Awakening, you're just drinking muddy water. Hey, come down to the studio, have coffee with us. We're at 1226 Commerce Drive. Coffee pot's right over there. And love to have folks stop by and have coffee with us. And perhaps you want some at your house, stop by Brewed Awakening. They'll grind up some beans for you, ½ pound, 1 pound, pound, half or more. It's a little bit more money than what you pay for coffee at the grocery store, but then you get Brewed Awakening coffee, and it's well worth the extra money. So check them out. Brewed Awakening Coffee, 3 locations to bring you the very best coffee in town. And, wow, they've been with us for a long time.
They have.
So new ownership, doing a great job, picking up where Mike left off. And so glad that they stayed on as a sponsorship because we love their coffee. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas bring the morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes, 29 in Arkansas, 1 in Memphis, Tennessee. Here in town, talk to Brad, Bruce, Charlotte, Chris, anyone there can help you. They're very caring, loving, understanding. That's a tough job.
It is, but you talk to one of them, I mean, they got to call in for what they do. They're just there to help people, and they get a lot of pride in being able to do that for people.
So you see, with all our respect written on the screen, that's not just a graphic Scooter dreamed up. That's how they do business on a daily basis. It's been their motto for many, many years all across the state of Arkansas and western Tennessee. With all our respect, Roller Funeral Homes, pre-planning, passing family member, loved one, friend, whatever it may be. And I'll tell you what, they do a fantastic job. Roller Funeral Homes, with all our respect. Let's pause now for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, as Russia moves troops into Ukraine, Lord, the whole world is holding its breath at the possibility of war is at stake. And, of course, no one wants war. But in my opinion, our current administration handles things like a tennis player in a match using a fly swatter as a tennis racket. Lord, true leadership will ask God for wisdom and guidance, and it's time Christian people take a stand and make our voices heard. Nowadays, a person can face harsher consequences for not wearing a mask or getting a vaccine than for selling drugs. Our economy is failing. Look at prices right now. Families are struggling and hurting. And think of our elderly on fixed incomes trying to buy food and medicines. Lord, we must turn our country back to God to obey his commands. And once again, I thank you for your blessings. My prayer today. Amen. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas bring you morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes.
Hey, I just wanted to say, because
Oh, no,
you're
you're
here
not
to
gonna you're not
hey,
gonna
hey,
do that.
don't mess it up. Here in a little bit. Actually, we've got a dear friend of mine, Jodi Bodenhamer. Known her for a long time. She's here and there. She came in this morning and she asked if she could do the morning trumpet for the weather. So I was going to let her do that. And let me make sure her mic's on. And there she is, right there front and center. And I told her that we'd go on break and then bring her on, but I lied. So she wanted to do the morning trumpet. So here it is, the morning trumpet by Jodi Bodenhamer.
You got set up.
What do I need to do here?
Trumpet sound.
Scooter. I don't
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know how to do a trumpet. Boop, boo.
There you go. The weather by Jodi.
They had me do it one time and never again. I did it so bad. This guy, well, I can't get my road plowed. It's covered. What? He's had the county judge, the mayor, the sheriff, the lieutenant governor, and who
I
else?
pay a lot more in taxes than most people now.
He stays in trouble. Morning weather is brought to you by the Z Team. Bob and Linda Zadora, your full-time professional, award-winning real estate team. Realtors you'd recommend to a friend. 870-405-0793. Time to take a peek at the White River.
I'm getting over to it. There we go.
There we go. Hey, there's some fog down there now.
Yeah.
That's the first time we had fog in about 3 or 4 days now. The cameras in Marion County, Arkansas, looking into Baxter County, Arkansas, as the river separates the two counties. Under the fog on the left side is the bridge, the 62-412 Business Loop Bridge, and the city of Cotter with a little bit of fog over it this morning. You see some of the city lights a little farther back that are in some of the homes, and of course the beautiful White River.
Makes for a pretty shot with
Boy,
that
it
fog
is.
on
Look
there.
at that. Wow. You got the other camera up and running?
Yeah, it's right now on a close up.
It's on
Oh,
a-
somebody's on the water.
Looks like they're paddling too. Look at that.
Oh, so some die-hard fishermen
There's
right
some die-hard
there.
fishermen. Now we get a rezoom. Look at the fog just hanging there by the bridge. It's right at the bridge line there. Wow.
That is pretty cool.
Now you can go to retiredarkansas.net and check out both of these cameras. One's a live stationary, and the other changes about every 10 to 15 seconds. Occasionally about this time in the morning, we get a train coming across the bridge there at Cotter as well. While you're at retiredarkansas.net, check out all the listings with the Z Team, Bob and Linda Zadora, in both states of Arkansas and Missouri, from Gainesville to Mountain View, Missouri, back to Mountain View, Arkansas, and over to Marshall, and all points in between. The Z Team, your full-time professional, award-winning real estate team, realtors you recommend to a friend. They're always busy, but never too busy for you. So give them a call at 870-405-0793. And you can enjoy the beautiful White River and City of Cotter. You see the Cotter Trout Dock down there. They're ready to serve you on your river for your river guiding and river needs right there for fishing and canoeing. And so be sure to visit the Cotter Boat Dock there. Great folks down there. Look, that's a little baseball. I don't know if that's just the edge of the baseball park. You see the foul line fence right there, I think, at right field. And boy, some pretty shots. All right, right now we got 57 degrees at Mountain Home, 58 at Harrison, 59 at Batesville, 55 at Yellville, 57 at Marshall, same at Salem and Mountain View, Arkansas. I was in Salem yesterday, got to visit with some friends over there. West Plains, Missouri at 57 degrees, while Springfield's at 42, 58 at Poplar Bluff, 57 in St. Louis. And now they're getting wintertime in Watford City, North Dakota. Look at this. Minus 17.
They can have it.
Minus 17. I think my boy just went back up there. So he's up there trying to keep it warm by welding. So anyway, wow. All right. Oh, here we go. Radar-wise, we got a big old glob in Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, back over into Ohio, all back over into Pennsylvania, New York, back down into the Carolinas. You see snow from Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, South Dakota into St. Paul, Minneapolis area, all the way up into Canada. So let's go into Arkansas and see what's going on. Boy, we had some storms last night. My goodness. They're stretching southwest to northeast. This is basically following Interstate 30. Most of 30 is covered. I-40 either side of Conway and Little Rock, halfway to Fort Smith, then almost to Memphis. Some heavier showers on I-55. Highway 62. Oh, goodness, we've got Highway 62 east of Mountain Home, Highway 63. You've got Highway 67, 167, Batesville, Pocahontas, Searcy, all covered in rain right now in storms. You got Interstate 155 at Dyersburg. You can't even see Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Highway 67 going north is covered in shower activity right now. Heavy showers all across Arkansas and southeast Missouri. I-49 not affected right now, as well as, it's just about it. I-40, once you get around Russellville, west towards Fort Smith. Been just a lot of heavy showers and moving on up into Missouri. Poplar Bluff, west on 160 and 60. A lot of rain right there. Cape Girardeau, southern Illinois, Interstate 64 out of East St. Louis, Illinois to Evansville, Indiana. A lot of rain right there all the way down to Carroll, Illinois, covering I-24 at US 51. Just, wow, lots and lots of rain going on this morning. So be careful when you're driving out there. We've got a tornado watch to the east of Mountain Home. We've got a winter storm watch, including Baxter County, west all the way back into Oklahoma. Flood watch boxes in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, back down to Tennessee and Alabama and Kentucky. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'll tell you what. We could have rain. We've got a flood watch, a winter storm advisory. So between now and Friday, it's going to be interesting. I can't tell you what's going to happen. It could be rain, freezing rain, snow, ice, sleet. Just be prepared. So
I think mainly Wednesday and Thursday, I think they're calling for the bad weather, I believe.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we have a high of 36 on Wednesday, a high of 36 on Thursday, with a low of 28 on Wednesday night. And that's what will cause the issues. And Thursday night gets to 19. It really hard freezes everything. But then Friday, we're back up to 39 degrees with mostly sunshiny skies. So hopefully it's a short-lived little winter storm. Checking I-Drive Arkansas, I tell you what, they had a cluster of accidents this morning. We have a towing recovery on I-40. It's on the eastbound lane, mile marker 167.9. We have another accident on Highway 67 at exit 10A. And we have another incident here. We have another accident, mile marker 2.7 on Interstate 440. Other than that, all the traffic's moving well in the state, with the exception of being slow around the Benton area getting into Little Rock. And so take a look around town, see what's going on. Highway 5, 201, 62, 412B, of course the usual traffic for shift changes at Baxter Regional, of course Baxter Lab, Exxon Station and Casey's right here, as you see right there, and wet highways. And so we'll check Cardinal Drive. The Club Boulevard camera is still out, so I can't bring it up. This is looking towards Century 21 Lemac Real Estate. Of course, see McDonald's right here and Pizza Hut and Wendy's down here. Minimum amount of traffic right here at this part of the city. So we'll move on over and take a look at the Spring River in Mammoth Springs. Excuse me. Looking north on Highway 63, Highway 9 takes off, goes into Mammoth Springs right here. You see the Spring River under the bridge. State line's right here at the Missouri line, where the sign says Welcome to Missouri. So looking into extreme southern Missouri and northern Arkansas there. Turn on the other cameras and we'll see what's going on. We'll take a look first at Norfolk Lake. And should be a pretty shot this morning. Be the wet bridge this morning, I bet. There we go. Looking from Henderson across the lake on Highway 62. And of course you see the cloudy conditions. The highway's not as wet as I thought it would be this morning. And one other camera will go to Black Rock and take a look at the Black River this morning. Highway 63, they got a lot of rain right there. Black River under the bridge there, heading from Black Rock into Portia, Arkansas, on the bridge with a turn lane. So that's kind of a famous bridge. Oh, checking Missouri Department of Transportation, plan your route going Springfield, Roller, St. Louis. Just watch out for the rain. Check your routes, and of course you got the flood watch boxes. Most of these are on county roads and state highways in Missouri, and nothing right now on the major highways going into the major cities in the state of Missouri. Norfolk Lake at 554.74, 659.23 at Bull Shoals. Crude oil prices right now are at 94.43. No stock market yesterday due to President's Day, so I'll remind you about the Dream Network. Marla Lucas, a good friend, is the CEO of the Dream Network, helping women and children in desperate situations. Right now, their campaign is let me start over. Where'd it go here? There we go. New Souls for Little Souls, the Shoes for Kids project through the Dream Network. If you can help them financially, $5, $10, $15 or more would be helpful. Go to the donate button at dreamnetwork.org. Morning weather and all your updates are brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zadora for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793. Realtors you recommend to a friend. Community calendar. The Lake Norfolk Fireworks 9th Annual Bass Fishing Tournament takes place on Saturday, March 26, 2022. Pre-registration only, 75 boat limit, Panther Bay Marina. Takeoff at 7 a.m., weigh in at 3 p.m. Entry fee $65 per team. For more information, call Jenny at 870-467-5800, or you can go to info@wagonwheelresortlakenorfolk.com. One other item here, the February Fleet Reserve Association Branch 251 meeting is scheduled for February 26th at 1 p.m. at Alleywhite American Legion Post at 717 Market Street. The date change is due to the visit of South Central Region President C. Ursula Grutzner. She'll tour the area and attend local functions, including the meeting. The meeting will provide information about the South Central Region March 17 through 19 convention and answer any questions. So Fleet Reserve Association Branch 251 meeting, February 26th, 1 to 3 p.m. at the Alleywhite American Legion Post. Scooter?
I'm good. I don't really have
Well,
anything
why don't we take
today.
a break, then we'll come back and visit with Jodi.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back.
It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home, delicious taste is all you will find. Enjoy signature crafted pizzas and appetizers, as well as oven-baked sandwiches, quesadillas, salads, pastas, and desserts. When it comes time to relax or meet up with friends, Brick Oven Pizza has you covered. Handmade cocktails and ice-cold beer are always available at their fully stocked bar. No time to dine in? No problem. Call in your order and use Brick Oven's convenient drive-thru window for all your to-go orders. It's a matter of taste at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Hi, it's Bob Zadora of the Z-Team at Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. As you know, we are all facing some unusual times. Be calm, be smart. The business world of real estate will continue. We may have some delays and some changes that are out of our control, but life will go on, and this too will pass. Give thanks for this wonderful country that we live in. Give thanks for the neighbors that we share. If there's anything we can do to give you a hand, give us a call, 870-405-0793, and check out our website, retiredtoarkansas.net.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville.
Now the next program is Jodi's Revenge against Scooter of all the dirt she could dream of.
Oh, no. She knows too much. This is not good. No, we can't. I might have to just keep her muted.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me in today. And yes, I have known Scooter for a long time. But Dale, you know, we've been doing this for a while
Yeah,
too.
we
We've
have.
been from radio to TV.
radio to TV. Yeah.
You bet.
So,
Time flies when you're having fun.
boy, and my goodness, what's it been now? 08 to 21, been what, 13 years now we've been doing this?
Something like that.
Been a
Well,
while.
I've been
Been a while.
hanging out with you guys for about 11, so
Yeah.
yeah.
She's over there. That's long enough.
So that's why.
Yeah, this may be the end.
Next time, do a trombone, right?
Yes.
So lots going on.
Yes. We have kind of recovered from some of our unfortunately shutdowns through COVID. We had some time there that our community houses were not able to offer a lot of programming, and actually about 3 months back in 2020 where we were completely closed. And so just getting back in the swing of things. Last year was kind of a rebuilding year and making sure that we were maintaining our safety guidelines and things, of course, that are necessary through the CDC and our hospital. And then this year we've really started planning on making sure that we are, having those programs again. And one of the things that we've brought back that everybody seemed to really enjoy and miss when we were on our COVID hiatus was our cooking classes and our healthy cooking workshops and things of that nature. So we're getting back in the swing of that. We've had a couple already this year. We're hosting those out at our new Wellness Education Center, and just wanted everybody to know that we are hosting different classes and events out there now. It's actually the old Simple Man's restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And so most people are familiar with where that location is. It's out on Highway 5 North, just right out of town. But we're hosting, Diane is hosting her Rocksteady boxing classes out there. We're having our cooking classes. Pite's Cancer House is having some classes. Schliemann Center for Women having
It gives you more elbow room.
It does. It gives us a lot more room.
Yeah.
Staying, certainly within those guidelines for COVID safety and things of that nature as well. And then just, having some extra space out there for a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
Even if we don't have restrictions, our houses are limited to 15, maybe 20 people at most in most of our classroom areas. So this really allows us to have a few more folks, be able to bring in, whomever for guest speaking and things of that nature. And then that way we've got some extra space out there as well. So I encourage everybody, there's usually someone out there every day, pretty much all day now. And if you're out that way, stop in and take a look, see what we've done with the place, and see what we've got to offer out there as far as our classes. We've got a full rotating schedule all day, Monday through Friday,
That's
of
good. That's good.
exercise classes and cooking classes and different things. So it's pretty exciting, and we're very glad to have been able to move into that space as well. That was one of our gifts from a donor, and then also our foundation helped with that move for us. So
Well, I'm glad you brought up the foundation.
sure,
Money.
that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yes.
How you run these houses, I would. It's been a while since I've seen Barney, Larry, and/or Mr. Peterson. I would guess that each house would have to be operated on 200,000 to 300,000. You're doing on a lot less than that, about 125,000 a year. And in these inflated prices right now, everybody's hurting. So money is needed. And I want to encourage folks. You've got the Lend a Hand program, I think, that's still, but every day is a good day to donate to the foundation for the homes.
Sure.
know.
We have a lot of programs that are offered free of charge. Some of them are billable through insurance, and some of them there is a small charge for on an individual basis. But really and truly, a lot of our budgets do come from donations. And just in my house alone, as far as the services that are offered and the things that we are able to do for folks, I brought in some props. Some of our glucometer kits and things of that nature, we are giving those away for free. We're trying to help people get into their supplies and get what they need as far as their diabetes care goes. And so yes, a lot of these things are definitely funded through our community and through our foundation, through the hospital.
Now, this device here is a what now?
This is just a regular glucometer. We use this to check blood sugar at home. So this would be sent home with someone, whether they were in the hospital and newly diagnosed with diabetes, or they just stop by my office and say, hey, I don't have a way to check myself. We're able to give those away, and this has some test strips, that's the very expensive part of testing, and then also the meter itself and a way to get the blood sample. We call it a lancet. So lots of good.
And you give that away?
Yes.
So I'm looking at
right
this
here,
thing.
not for resale.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that's probably at least $159 to $259 device, right?
Oh no, not
No?
quite that much. No,
Really?
I mean
Less than 100?
a standard meter will run you anywhere from, you can get the very cheap of cheap around $10 to
Oh,
this
good.
one's probably about 40.
Oh, good.
So depending on what the cost is, depends, I think, a lot on how much supply I can get. And like you said, supplies are certainly limited right now, but we're still able to get these things. We're still able to get a lot of our different devices and standard devices to give away to folks. And then something else that I'm kind of excited about that started last year was a sampling program of, you see the newer devices now on television where the gal has the device on her arm and she scans. And so we're starting to be a part of a sampling program for that company as well. That's called the Freestyle Libre. So we're really getting into the newer categories of testing and newer devices for diabetes, and just trying to stay up and current with all those new things as well. I actually started teaching a class about those because I had so many people calling and saying,
Really?
what is that? And I want one, and how do I get one? And that's what led us to be able to start. The company called me up and I said, oh yeah, we're already talking about it. We're already doing some sampling and things like that. So they were very kind and generous to actually give us some samples as well.
Oh, man.
So we've got all kinds of things going on, and like I said, we're open Monday through Friday. People are welcome to stop by, pick up supplies, pick up needed kits, whatever they need, and then we can also get them enrolled in some of our classes. Our educational classes, I think, are really top-notch as far as our diabetes care. We have a lot of patients coming and going through our classes throughout the year, and we always kind of keep track of them and how they're doing. And, folks that come through our diabetes education program will tell you, I am doing much better now. I maybe wasn't doing so great in the beginning, or I was struggling, and now I'm making this work. And it's not us, it's not what we're doing, it's them taking that home and applying that to their everyday life. I think that makes a big difference.
And during the COVID, I've heard a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? People that had the COVID, a lot more serious than others, had a history of diabetes. Have you heard that?
I haven't. We were really fearful at first when COVID started that our diabetes patients would take the hardest hit. And we did see some of that in the beginning. I think the original COVID seemed to really impact a lot of our elderly folks, and that's where we see certainly larger numbers of type 2 diabetes. The other thing that I've seen since COVID is more people post-COVID having problems with their blood sugars. Some of our some of our COVID treatments are steroids, and a lot of people don't know, but steroids really increase your blood sugars. And so we're having to kind of step in there and help folks out when they're coming out of the hospital. Maybe they didn't have diabetes before, but now they're having some trouble because of being ill, being sick, and then some of those treatment plans that we are using to try to help people get over COVID, So it has been a challenge. It's been definitely a day-to-day, things seem to change pretty quickly, and just kind of enduring that and working together with our other community partners. The hospital in general, as well as our clinics and things, have really stepped up to try to meet the needs of our patients.
That's good.
Yes.
It just seemed like that, the folks that I've been in contact with, or friends, every one have had a history of diabetes that really had the severity or even passed away. Well, they had a history with diabetes. And I was just wondering the connection there.
Yes, and we saw that, and some of the other trends were obesity, some of the other trends were COPD, CHF. So a lot of the chronic diseases, I think, played a part in some of that early, really, really ill, critically ill folks. And I was very concerned just for my patients, because these are the people I love on every day, and these are the folks that I take care of every day. But luckily, we've kind of pulled through some of that, and hopefully we'll not see that great of a trend and that high of a number anymore now that we have kind of built up some resilience, so I hope that's the case, and I certainly hope.
So, you said the treatment for COVID was mainly steroids, is that right?
We've seen a lot of treatment with steroids, yes,
Yeah.
and a lot of standard, and that's standard with any respiratory illness. You go in the hospital with pneumonia and you're going to get some steroids.
Sure.
That just opens those bronchial airways up, and that really wreaks havoc on your blood sugars. And not that I'm talking bad about the steroid. Please don't call the steroid people of America and tell them I love, steroids are fine. And I always tell patients, if you can't breathe, that's our first priority. So we certainly have to treat the highest priority there. But that is a standard.
Did the vaccine have any effects with blood sugars, or because I've heard, and we all know all the stuff. I told you, this has been a year ago. I was tuned in on one of my shortwave radios, and I picked up Radio Havana in Cuba. Literally, and it's a great newscast. It's non-biased and it's not communist. It's just, they give Europe and China, North America, South America, and they were talking about blood clotting in Europe. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what shot it was. There's so many out there, I can't keep track. Did that have any effects over here?
I didn't see any kind of major issues. I was part of some of the vaccine clinics and things in the early days when we first started giving vaccine. And really, we didn't see any increased incidence of problems that we are aware of, anyways, at this point. Certainly, there's definitely years to go before we can really get a good handle on all this. But we also know that, with the vaccine, we saw in the early days, we saw less incidents of severe illness, and so I think that was a good thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know that it really affected anybody's blood sugars per se. I didn't get any kind of feedback from my patients saying one way or the other, but I know that a lot of folks sort of had that initial reaction, sort of like you do maybe when you get a flu shot and it's one of those real wonky flu shots. Mm-hmm. And so that certainly was concerning to us as well, just getting people through that first 24, 48 hours after the vaccine, or even after COVID itself, just making sure that folks were okay, because even those that weren't critically ill, some people were pretty sick at home, and that was
and
concerning.
It's funny how it affected people of all walks of life, and
no rhyme or reason. And that was the scary part. Yeah. Still is,
It still is, yeah. 7:32, going to take a break. More with Jodi after this. We've got some more props down here we're going to look at later on, so stick around. We'll be right back. When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Hi, I'm Benny with Ammo Dump.
At Ammo Dump, they carry new and used firearms, large supply of shotguns, rifles, and handguns. Ammo Dump will buy, sell, or trade in your item and can special order whatever you like. They also have knives, scopes, ammo of any caliber, and provide gun cleaning and restoration. Call them today for the best competitive pricing around.
If I don't have it or can't get it because they don't make it, come and see us.
That's Ammo Dump, located next to Woodman's Package in Norfolk.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home.
Are you looking?
And now Scooter's going to have Jodi play the drums, right?
Listen, I don't know where y'all got that I was musical, but that is not the case. I can make a joyful noise.
There you go. What else you got for us?
Oh, goodness. Well, we talked about monitors. We talked about coming by and getting free samples and free supplies and things. I think that's really helpful for someone who's newly diagnosed with diabetes. I get a lot of patients coming in saying, I just left my doctor's office. They sent me over here, and then we can kind of help them make those next steps as far as whether they need a glucometer or they need to be in a class or whatever. But even for folks that have had diabetes for a while, I think it's important that they know that we're available. I had a patient not too long ago that has had diabetes for years and years, and we were able to get him on a continuous monitor, as we were talking about before. And then he decided he wanted an insulin pump. And so we worked with his doctor, talked to the doctor, and the doctor said, sure, whatever you think would be helpful, we'll get it on order. And I was able to do some training with him, and he said, I cannot believe I've lived in Mountain Home for XYZ years and did not realize what kind of services that we have right here. And I just want to encourage anybody with a new diagnosis, whether it be diabetes or cancer, anything as far as any of the community houses that could help with. Diane does a lot of work with our dementia and Alzheimer's patients, and Stephanie with our women's health. But just know that we're there, that we're available, and that we have resources available. Mm-hmm. And whether that's something that is a new diagnosis for you or something that's just continuing to kind of be in your circle of healthcare needs, I think people need to know that, and I think people need to be encouraged to, like you said, come by and have a cup of coffee with us. We'd love that. We encourage people to come by and visit with us and see what all we have to offer, because there are so many things that folks don't know that are available right here in Mountain Home.
Okay, I pride myself on grabbing something you said and making a sideline issue. Insulin pump.
Yes.
For folks that don't know, what is that?
So most people that are type 1, if you will, which are insulin dependent, they do not have the ability to make insulin anymore, and that's a very life-sustaining hormone for us. We have to have insulin. And even some folks with type 2 diabetes who are insulin dependent get into the, not habit, but the need for multiple daily injections of insulin. And so I tell anybody that if you're taking more than 2 shots of insulin a day, you very well could qualify for an insulin pump. Now, there's a process. Certainly, it's not a cheap piece of equipment by any means, and we want to make sure that those things are covered by insurances and taken care of. But that is a device that literally you load up once every 2 or 3 days, and it gives you the insulin that you need, as opposed to you having to take 3 or 4 or 6 or 8 insulin injections a day. And so I think it's a really great asset to a lot of patients. And I have some patients very young, and I have some patients very young at heart that use insulin pumps. So it's not an age issue. It's not I don't have the right type of diabetes, or I don't have the knowledge of the electronic devices. I can teach you how to use the device. I can teach you what the device is doing for you. But it's the it's the patient who's willing to take that next step, I think, and it's really about them. And I tell people that all the time. Insulin pumps are not for everybody, but man, when you decide you want one and make up your mind that that's what you want, it's a true game changer for some folks. And time and effort, you know, if you think about the average diabetes patient takes 1,200 shots a year, you know, and so just taking the time to do those injectables.
That's about 4 a day.
Yes, and it's an unbelievable amount of extra work that someone with diabetes has to do for themselves.
My little dog Pepper has diabetes, and I get right at 5 units twice a day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's, you know, can you imagine that for yourself with 2 more injections and 2 or 3 other, you know, finger pokes a day, and having to do that all the time? Now we do it for our dogs. But doing it for ourselves is a little different. And that's the other thing is, I know some people get very frustrated with their diabetes, and that's, again, we offer a little hope, we offer a little help, and that gets people on the right track, I think.
Is it all hereditary? Is it dietary? What starts diabetes?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Some of both.
That's the $25 question.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And we see a lot of patients with family history. We see some patients without. We see some patients with some lifestyle modifications that can help. We see some patients that are eating healthy, exercising every day, you name it. So there is a lot of unknowns still as far as the diagnosis goes. And there are certainly some factors that I encourage everybody with diabetes and without to do, you know, eating healthy. Scooters over there talking about his cinnamon rolls, and, you know, I'm giggling to myself thinking, how long has it been since I've had a cinnamon roll? And that's what we talk about is, you know, it's okay to have those occasional things as long as you're keeping it balanced on the other side of the day. You know, you can't have a cinnamon roll for breakfast and 2 pieces of cake for lunch and a piece of pie for supper. You know, and although I could do that every day,
Yeah, me too.
I would want to.
Yeah.
That's not a healthy way to eat. And so we talk about healthy eating, whether we're talking to a child with type 1 or an adult who's maybe gotten into that habit of stopping at a fast food joint 2 or 3 times a day and maybe not cooking and not eating as healthy.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I go back to my grandparents when they first married in 1933, which is almost 100 years ago. What they ate was what they grew.
Yes.
Chickens, hogs, cattle. You know, you butchered the hog, you butchered the cow, you know.
Sure.
And even in their retirement years, they canned all kinds of vegetables, corn and green beans and peas, and she made your own jellies. And
absolutely.
And the pork was fresh, and they'd freeze it. So is there something with these preservatives? I mean,
oh, I'm sure we'll find more and more about the types of foods that we've been eating. Like you said, the preservatives. We already know salt is the enemy at some level to all of us.
Even
as
for
far
blood pressure.
And you know, heart
I literally
disease.
sat down to a meal at my grandparents' house. We had hamburgers and French fries. The potatoes were grown right there in Butler County, Missouri.
Sure.
And the meat was from the cow that they had butchered, that they raised right there on the property.
Right.
The only thing that was store bought was the tea bags for the iced tea. Literally.
And the salt on the fries.
And the salt for the fries.
Yes, there you go.
Grandma would fry chicken in pork lard. And they both lived long, healthy lives into their 80s and 90s.
Sure. And you wonder, too, at some level, what of that is activity, you know, and what of that is exercise, because they also were so much more active because of the lifestyle then. There was no...
That's true.
There were no machines, and I'm not talking about internet and television. I know we can all say we do way
we had to walk
too much.
3 feet to change the channel on the shag carpet. You know, we all did that, you know.
But the reality of their lifestyle of working that farm and working those cattle and going out to the garden every day, do any of us do that anymore either?
Oh, yeah.
And that's...
I remember my grandmother had a wringer type washer.
Yes.
You know, and sit there, boy, she'd shove those jeans in that wringer and go, I mean, you know, it was a lot of work. You know, then it had to sit there and they'd spend a whole day ironing.
Yes. Well, and just think about just processing the foods. I mean, the meats, the vegetables, like you said, canning is a process. Yeah. All of those things take time and effort, you know. Yeah. And I think, too, getting back to some of that, I enjoy being in the kitchen. I'm trying to teach my kiddos some of those old-fashioned values of cleaning
would
our own
have
meat and canning our own
homemade
food.
jellies, apple butter.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. And
farm fresh stuff.
I
just wonder, in the last 100 years, what have we done to ourselves?
We've convenienced ourselves to death.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Good way to put it.
We've convenienced ourselves to death.
Yep.
And I think you're right. I think a lot of folks are getting back to growing their own food and kind of being a little more mindful of that. I think that will help. I really do. I'm excited about some of the things that schools are teaching. Again, my child came home the other day talking about she had a class on shopping in the grocery store.
Really?
And looking at healthy foods. And they were keeping track of their daily intake, and they're going to turn that in and compare and contrast what that looked like. So I was really excited to know that's actually being put on by the food bank. A big shout out to the food bank here in town that does some of that. And then I think those are the types of classes, and just basic first aid. As a nurse, I'm never amazed so much to know that people don't know just some basic first aid skills. And so some things like that we're bringing back that I think are really important for folks to learn, and especially our young kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you had somebody my age 63, 64, 65, what is the most dangerous food for a diabetic? No, you cannot eat that at all.
Just sugar, just refined sugar, soda. That's the one thing I say to stay away from. Just stay away from sodas, and don't drink your calories as far as like frappes and things of that nature too much and too often. And those calories add up really quickly. And sweet tea and things of that nature. So eat food, eat real food.
We just marked off Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Arkansas, Kentucky.
All of us in the South. Gravy and sweet tea.
Biscuits or gravy.
No, and everything, everything can be worked in and modified to make it work for a meal plan as far as food goes. But you're right when you say the more natural the nutrition, the better. So we're talking about fruits and vegetables, meat, potatoes, corn, all the things that people think that they can't have, and it's not really that they can't have it. It's we want you to have the best of the best. Go out and get a stalk of corn from the actual section in the grocery store that has all of the fruits and vegetables. Don't go over and get a can of corn.
Right.
And so make it worth your while. When
right
you
on
eat,
the cob.
Yeah, when you eat good foods and eat healthy foods.
Run up to Illinois about late September and pick up a bushel of corn.
Hey, yeah.
And the funny thing is, this doesn't just pertain to diabetes.
No.
That's true.
You talk about it. I'm just kind of changing the subject a little bit, but you talk about the athletes. I coach wrestling, and food is a very big part.
Fuel.
Healthy fuel is going to give you healthy fuel for that mat. And so the kids have to learn that they need to start changing their diets, eating better foods and drinking better and everything, and it will make their performance change.
What about the proteins
be on that field
and your meats and stuff? Red meat, white meat, chicken, beef, question mark.
Heavy on the chicken and fish.
Yeah.
Light on the pork and beef, and you'll be just fine.
Okay.
And you don't have to avoid any of it. If you like it, eat it.
Yeah. I love fish and I love chicken.
There you go.
You bet.
Yeah.
7:48, time for the last break. Be right back.
Are you looking for the best barbecue in 2 states?
Holy smokes!
Want the meatiest fall-off-the-bone ribs?
Holy smokes!
The most tender and delicious pulled pork?
Holy smokes!
The tastiest brisket in the Ozarks?
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering is the only place you need to go. Dine in, carry out, and the best food for your next catered event.
Holy smokes!
We're your mountain home for great barbecue cooking.
Holy smokes!
A higher calling for your taste buds.
At Serendipity Bliss, we love turning your day into a once-in-a-lifetime memory by offering unique, beautiful, and specialized event and wedding rentals that can transform any atmosphere into something you will never forget. Whether it's your dream wedding, a golden anniversary, sweet 16 party, or a company event, we can make any event blissfully perfect. Serendipity Bliss carries unique specialty gifts and bridal jewelry and helps coordinate decor, table items, theme-related pieces, and more. Make your day blissfully perfect with Serendipity Bliss, located behind Car Care Mountain Home.
Scrap Daddy's Metals is a full-service scrap recycling center accepting your scrap metals for recycling, paying you top dollar for all of your recyclable metals. They even buy cars and catalytic converters. Give them a call today at 870-424-6120 or visit them at 2821 Highway 5 North in Mountain Home. Close to Lake Norfolk and a short journey to Jordan County Line Liquor is your destination for all your refreshment needs. They offer the widest variety of all your wines, beers, and liquors with the cleanest atmosphere and the largest selection in the area. Not sure what to get? Ask Jordan County Line Liquor's friendly and knowledgeable staff for an expert recommendation you can't go wrong with. Also, don't forget about the Smoker's Den for all your smoking and accessory needs. That's Jordan County Line Liquor, close to Lake Norfolk, located on Highway 177 in Jordan, Arkansas. It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home, delicious taste is all you will find. Enjoy signature crafted pizzas and appetizers, as well as oven-baked sandwiches, quesadillas, salads, pastas, and desserts. When it comes time to relax or meet up with friends, Brick Oven Pizza has you covered. Handmade cocktails and ice-cold beer are always available at their fully stocked bar. No time to dine in? No problem. Call in your order and use Brick Oven's convenient drive-thru window for all your to-go orders. It's a matter of taste at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care in Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Hi, it's Bob Zadora of the Z-Team at Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. As you know, we are all facing some unusual times. Be calm. Be smart. The business world of real estate will continue. We may have some delays and some changes that are out of our control, but life will go on, and this too will pass. Give thanks for this wonderful country that we live in. Give thanks for the neighbors that we share. If there's anything we can do to give you a hand, give us a call. 870-405-0793. And check out our website, retiredtoarkansas.net.
Now we're down to just me and Scooter because Jodi has another meeting to get to, and she's got about 9 minutes to get there with some hospital people.
It's awesome to have her here.
Well, I tell you what, very knowledgeable. I'll tell you what, a lot of information.
I will tell you, all them houses have been an amazing asset for this community, and if you're not using them, you're nuts, because I can tell you my daughter was diagnosed at age 3, and the Diabetes Learning Center has been a lifeline for us, just a lifeline. It's really made such a difference. Anytime we ever needed somebody, they're there. They're
there.
It's awesome to have it. So use them. That's why they're there.
Yep.
Rather any one of the houses, they are there to help and make a difference. I would definitely give them a call or schedule time to come in and meet them.
You bet. Eating Well in 2022, healthy cooking workshops with Jan Milligan, who is a top dietitian. Coming up on March 16th, they have Increasing Fiber, Heart Healthy, Low Carbs. April 20th, May 18th, June 15th, low cholesterol, vegetarian, flexitarian, and Mediterranean. And then all throughout the summer, active snacks, increasing vitamins, keto info. Later in the year, the last quarter of the year, gluten-free, healthy holidays. And it's hosted at 2245 Highway 5 North. That's the old Skippers, not Skippers. Simple Man.
The Simple Man.
Simple Man, yeah, I'm sorry.
Up on 5 North.
And to register, call 870-508-1765. And if you're watching in Missouri, of course, 870 is the Arkansas area code for this area. And folks from state of Missouri are welcome as well. And so let's recap a little bit of weather going on, because we do have some interesting weather. The current radar showing right now, I'll refresh this real quick, Scooter. I'm going to throw you a curveball here and we'll refresh it. We'll show the shower activity going on in the north central part of Arkansas, northeast Arkansas. Right now, the shower activity is diminished a little bit in southwest Arkansas. It's mainly in the northeast part, basically from Little Rock to Jonesboro, Batesville, Pocahontas, Walnut Ridge, Blyville's all in this. Heavier showers towards the Mississippi River, moving up towards Poplar Bluff, Cape Girardeau, and into central Illinois. And so the 7-day forecast, we're showing this for today. We do have a flash flood watch, or a flood watch, I should say, through about, through probably 5 o'clock tonight. Then the winter storm watch will kick in on Wednesday, Thursday. So we don't know what to expect. Let's see what it's saying here. Wednesday, rain or freezing rain, becoming all freezing rain after 10 o'clock, low around 28, northeast wind around 5. Thursday, freezing rain before 10. Then rain or freezing rain between 10 and noon. Then rain in the afternoon, a high near 36. So Thursday, if we get that 36 degrees and rain, we're not going to have that much ice, I hope.
Right now, they're calling for a 1/10 to a 1/4 of an inch is what's expected.
1/10 is not going to hurt us. 0.10 is not going to hurt. 0.25 starts getting bad.
0.10 will still make the roads
make
little
it pretty
treacherous.
bad, yeah. But right here, a chance of rain, some freezing rain. But then if we get to that 36 degrees that they're saying on Thursday, it won't hang around long, so keep your fingers crossed there. So anyway, so it is what it is. And back to that current radar, nothing right now, Mountain Home. Everything is southwest to northeast with heavier showers, basically from, I'm going to say Salem back over to Batesville, Pocahontas, back almost to Memphis, Tennessee, where it's entering the state of Tennessee right now. Real quick, we'll do a little bit of, we'll catch up on some PSAs here. The Lake Norfolk Fireworks 9th Annual Fishing Tournament takes place Saturday, March 26th. Pre-registration only, 75-boat limit, Panther Bay Marina. 7 a.m. takeoff with a 3 p.m. weigh-in. You can call Jenny at 870-467-5800 for the Lake Norfolk Fireworks 9th Annual Bass Fishing Tournament. A lot of things going on, and tomorrow we should have, I haven't heard from Dennis yet, but on the schedule is Dennis Thunderdale. Hasn't been here since
Arkansas
October, November. I hope he's watching.
Arkansas Game and Fish.
Arkansas
He's always
Game and
entertaining.
Fish. Thursday we got two guests coming in. I've got a lady's moved in here from the West Coast, and she does some video work for folks and stuff, and we're going to give her about 10 to 15 minutes to talk about that. And then we're going to have the Hope for All folks come in, the homeless ministry that's in the Twin Lakes area, doing a very good job there. Worked that fundraiser last year, had a good time with trivia night over at the Methodist Church, and a good time there. You got anything?
Not got a whole lot. I mean, wrestling's pretty much wrapped up with the state tournament as far as high school.
You're going to freestyle now, though, aren't you?
We are. We've got the school portion of wrestling is ended. Now it's more of the individuals, anybody that's wanting to continue on to nationals. We've got the Matt Gear Nationals, which is in Branson. We've got Independence Nationals up in Adidas Nationals up in Independence, Missouri. And then we'll have the freestyle. So it'll start with the freestyle state tournament. And if you happen to place there, then you have a chance to wrestle for the national team, the USA Arkansas national team, which will travel to Fargo at that point.
You were there last year, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin went up to Fargo. We spent about a week up there. It was the biggest wrestling tournament in the world. I mean, especially high school-wise, it is massive.
Now, can they pick Summer Olympic wrestling from this team?
Yeah, and I mean, it's where a lot of your bigger colleges, your name wrestling colleges are going to be looking for scholarships, give out scholarships, stuff like that. So that's where they're looking. That's where, if you're wanting to go to one of these D1 bigger wrestling schools, Fargo's a good place to target. It really is. But it's tough. I mean, you've got the best of the best. And I know my son had I think it was 296-man bracket. He was in last year in just one
Single
bracket.
Or double elimination?
It is double.
Oh, my word.
But it lasts days. I mean, it's multiple days that you're wrestling. And,
wow.
And so it's not all at one time. But it's a great experience. Chance to go to Fargo, wrestle at that level is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
That's great.
It's a great thing for him.
Good luck there. Real quick, we got about a minute and a half for the end of the show. I went down to Shady Grove. This is a part of Baxter County history that's up and running again. If you can throw it on the screen, the old Shady Grove store. Got some friends running that, and they've got coffee and soft drinks and water. They've got lottery tickets down there, and hopefully they'll get the gasoline pumps up and running. But a piece of Baxter, I remember this from 50 years ago. And I posted this on Facebook, and a friend of mine lives in Kansas City. He says, I was on a 3-horsepower mini bike and almost out of gas. So they take the gas off. You know how it retains. He said, and drain the hoses to try to get enough gas in the mini bike.
Years ago, I used to go there and get sandwiches, stuff like that. They made some of the best handmade little sandwiches and stuff.
It's so good to see stuff like this, and we want to reach out to locally owned shops like this to help out. But the old Shady Grove store, it's about 5 or 6 miles south on Highway 201, and it's up and running again. It's they've got a lot of antique stuff in there. Just a lot of fun. Step back in history, and to see the Shady Grove store up and running again is a lot of fun. I remember it from 50 years ago, and that's all dirt roads down in Highway 201 south. A lot of fun. Anyway, enjoy the rain, the snow, and the ice. I mean, who knows what we're going to get, folks. Let's just hope the temperature stays above freezing and we can continue a normal lifestyle. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.